This is Winston, the founder of Rising Tides Charity and the host of the Creativity Cocktail. Our creative of the month is a person who's had a profound impact on many people, including myself. When I was looking for a theater to showcase some of my work, I had some challenges to do that, and he was able to help me with that. Not only myself, he has helped innumerable people all over the world, including people from his home land and home state of Puerto Rico. Raul Thomas is our creator of the month. He runs and leads the Marietta's new theater in the square, and he is a renowned chef that has won several awards. So the reason why we've chosen Raul is kind of what I said at the beginning, where it's not just about him and his creativity, it's about how he's helping other people find their creative voice. And that's what we look for when we look for the creator of the month every single month. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to become a member of the Creative Circle and the Rising Tides Charity. It's free to become a member, and you'll get more insight as to how we help other creatives find their place and their spark in our community. Thank you all so much. Hello, everyone. This is the Creativity Cocktail powered by Rising Tides Charity. Today, on the podcast and in our conversation, we have a person who has been personally helpful to me, Winston Wilson, the founder here. This gentleman is not only a great entrepreneur and business owner, but he is also a fabulous chef. So Raul Thomas is joining the podcast today. Raul, say what's up to everybody.
Hey, good. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. And Wilson, you are an inspiration to us. You say you're an amazing dude, man.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. You know, I tell you, when I had, for those of you, many of you know that I'm a writer, and I canvassed and looked for theaters all over the city of Atlanta to have my first official reading. Before that, I had it at universities and stuff like that. And, you know, like small boxes in the Alliance Theater and stuff like that. But then when I reached out to Raul, he was like, come on through. Let's go ahead and do it. And it was awesome. And it's to the point where it gave me the inspiration I needed to do a full production there, which was well received, and we did it twice. So, Raul, thank you so much.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for.
Yeah, I got to tell you that was a lot of fun. Super Loser, amazing. I tell you, I kind of became a Super Loser fan. It was great, even just building the set with you and your lovely wife, and just getting things together. But just seeing the response of the people, hearing the stories of when we were kids, the things that we envisioned, I thought it was just fun. And congratulations to you and the cast here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, one of the things that's come from that, and we've talked about it, because one of the other awesome things that Raul does is he's got a film production group. And the inspiration, I've been spending a lot of time in reworking and working the Super Loser screenplay. So it's coming, brother. We're ready to make it happen.
Nice. You know, it's often, it's funny you say that, right? Because I hear you're talking about production and chef and theater owner. And you know, it's overwhelming sometimes when I sit back and I think about all the things that I'm doing and all the places that I have my hat in, because, you know, you never want to be a jack of all trades. You want to be the master of all, right? And you never want to spread yourself too thin. But all three of them have been some amazing accomplishments, and I think that we could definitely continue to attribute to our success as being minority business owners and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I really agree with everything you said there. You know, and probably the thing that you and I both have in common is that when you're a creative person, you're always trying to create value with stuff. And that's probably how we're getting involved in all of these things, because we know that we can help or do something to get something going. And so,
Exactly.
It's
about building. It's about building the community. It's about being, making sure that you're inclusive into the village, and you're putting your seed in, and you're making it happen. And I think that that's really important as well. So yeah, absolutely. Creativity is much. They lend hand in hand for me. When I think of, I've been a chef for 33 years, and as a chef, always creating. Right, as an executive chef and as a business owner of a catering business and cooking for a lot of high-profile people, I've always found myself that I needed to continue to create. I've always said, redevelop myself, continue to evolve. Adding those attributes to the theater business, adding those attributes to the filming business, you're creating. Right. You know what I mean? It's that same. It's just watching for that same beauty. It's watching for that same perfect picture. It's watching for that perfect line. It's watching for that perfect response. It's in that same creative development in your mind. So it's helped me. It's helped me in the career.
That's fantastic. I don't know if I've ever asked you this question, but when you became the owner of the theater in Marietta, the Marietta New Theater in the Square, well, how did that come about? Like, how did you find out about it?
Oh, wow. You got 5 hours, man. I thought you said this was going to be short. So, man. The theater, honestly, I'll try to make it as brief as possible. But it's a good question because people want to know that, right? Everyone knows my son, Emil. Yes. Emil is been performing arts since middle school. He's been performing as a type, all the way to graduating from college as a director, graduating Pebblebrook High School. So he's always been in the arts. And again, as you know, I'm a chef. And man, I used to ride past that place every day and see it closed. And I would ride by that place every day and see it closed, and it just disturbed me. And when Emil decided to go to college, and he was developing his skills, I actually got in contact with the landlord, and I wanted to look at the place. Fast forward, I seen it. It didn't work. The message was not. God wasn't talking to me yet. It wasn't there, but it was the seed was definitely planted. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, I'm cooking at an event for Dwight Eubanks, mm-hmm. and lady walks up to me. She tells me that she had just became the general manager of this new theater in Marietta, and she would love for me to put my food in the concessions. Oh, wow. And I was like, what? Excuse me? And I was like, where's this theater? She said, Marietta. Well, a month prior, I had just been inside that space. So, so I'm like, okay, there's something here, I walk into the theater. I meet up with them. We talk. I decide that I'm going to help them a little bit, and the theater funding went down. They couldn't develop the theater the way they needed to, and we took a leap of faith. My family, the Thomas family, we took a leap of faith. We loaned the theater some money, the theater owner at that time some money, and he just wasn't able to manage it. He handed it back over to us. And when we took over the theater, we gifted it to Emil, and we hope that he can work for himself now and make his own mistakes and bounce and jump and do what he wants, instead of having to do it for another. He's doing it for himself, and we've cushioned some of those bumps along the road, but at the same time, we're giving him the ability to tell his story and to tell our story. So that's kind of like the short part of how we got the theater.
Wow. I tell you, that is really cool and powerful. And one of the things that I heard thematically through that is like creating a legacy, right? And like really helping your family. And we just had a podcast with my family where we talked about the origins of why we're entrepreneurs and at this stage in life and how that came about. And it's so cool to hear how you've done that same thing. I know you've had some amazing shows there I've been at many of them, and you've allowed me to speak at a couple of them. Tell us about some of the shows and some of the things that are upcoming for the theater.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we've been blessed. We've been blessed with some amazing talent from Atlanta. Everything that we do at the theater, is definitely local talent, and we're allowing those that don't have the opportunity or would have not had the opportunity, or those that just want to go on that stage and play, the ability to do that. So with that happening, we have had some amazing talent come through our doors, and we continue to have some amazing talent coming through our doors, some amazing directors, and we've been successful in so many arenas, from the comedy arena to the August Wilson plays that we've put on. We've put on 3 of them already. Jitney's up in this season. Last year we did Gem. Prior to that, we did Fences, which was a home run. We knocked it out the park. Both Nick Starr and Emil were in it and directed each other. And when I tell you that was a masterpiece, man, Nick rocked. He rocked it, man. He was Troy through and through. And Emil played Gabriel. I mean, and the whole cast. I mean, the whole cast was just, Princess Star. She was amazing. I mean, it was just great, man. It really set the tone for the community to know that we were bringing it, and that we were bringing it hard. You know what I mean? And we showed it with our own very directors, which was just even that much more special. But now, we're in our 5th season, dude. And after doing Native Son and doing, all of these other urban and deep, provocative mind thinking plays, we are now telling more in-depth stories. So this season, we've decided to mix it up. We're in our 2nd pre-show. The first one was Moonlight and Magnolias, which was very, very a little bit controversial, but the way the story of Gone with the Wind was made. It was 3 Jewish men that were in office for 5 days rewriting that script. But now we're doing Motown with Steph Stewart, and he's killing it. I mean, last night was opening night, and we had a sold-out show. It looks like every show will be sold out for this run as well, as it was for last year within the Heights and a few other shows that we did, which were amazing. We have Pipeline coming up as our first opener. Pipeline is going to be a deep, amazing play. We have a new director in the house that we've brought in, Mia, to work this play. Right behind that, we're doing Jitney. We're hoping to have an all-star cast. I know we have Maurice Smith as the lead. I believe that Palmer Williams will be in it. Wow. A couple of cast members that came from our original Christmas Carol are in it, and Nick Starr is directing it, the master of August Wilson. So I'm stoked. I'm excited about that one. Right behind that, Emil wrote a love story a couple of years ago, and we're putting it on world premiere called Partners. It's going to be a deep millennials truth story about love, man.
Wow. That's fascinating. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I love to see the way he writes. I love to see the way he develops his mind, and when he tells the story, it's definitely from a different picture. And it definitely makes you think, Behind that, we're doing West Side Story, dude. We're bringing the Puerto Ricans to the stage.
That's awesome.
And we got the Jets, and we're going to do West Side Story, and we're hoping for that to do just as successful as In the Heights did. We got Steph Stewart as choreographer. We have our in-house choreographer, Karis. And they just could just do some amazing work, and Emil will be home to direct that one. And then that sets off our Hispanic Heritage Month, where we'll be doing Anna in the Tropics with Roger Payano as the director. We'll be doing a couple of comedy shows right behind that, and then we go into Gift of the Magi 2.0, Emil's signature story. It's going to be our 5th year doing it. It's amazing that we've been able to develop a story, give a Christmas story to Atlanta, and it's been received amazingly. All 4 years, the show has been phenomenal, and this will be our 5th year doing it. Last year, Maurice Smith actually directed it and added some other elements, as you directors do, and it was really good. It was really, really good. And then we'll have a surprise Christmas show. I'm in negotiations, so I can't really talk about the titles right now. But then we'll have, the adult Christmas show is Magi 2.0, and then we'll have that kids show coming right behind that, the last three. And then we finished the year 2021 with Mountaintop, which was one of the most touching stories I've ever done at the theater. Dap, Paxton, and Tanya, killed it. I mean, it was one of the most amazing plays that I had ever seen. The story of Martin Luther King and the night before, supposedly how he died.
Yeah, that Paxton.
And it was fascinating. I mean, it was fascinating to see her, Tanya Freeman, on the stage and just portray what the devil could really do to you, right? You're a man of God, and the temptation in your face, and yet you're strong to the word of God, and you're strong to your wife, and you're trying to hold down. I mean, it was just a great story. We just had to bring it back. But I will say this. Thank you for asking about the theater, because the theater this year by Broadway World has won 7 awards.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, man. It took Theater of the Year. Emil got Best Director of the Year. And then In the Heights won the other 5 awards, from choreographer down to Best Actor, Best Lead Actor. It's just been great, man. Great run.
Yeah, I voted everywhere I could for, everything that you guys did. That was great to hear. The thing I hear about, as you went through the shows, and for those who are listening, you got to think about the Marietta New Theater in the Square as a real powerful point for us to hear our stories. So there's venues that exist all throughout Atlanta, right? You got like the Atlanta Black Theater Festival, and you got other places where our stories exist. But there's always something going on at the theater in the Square. There's always some amazing story. It's interesting because I remember when we did our show there, and there would be people, and I remember talking to people as they walk by, they're like, I come here every week because this is the place to go. Like, this is what I'm doing. And it's such a great venue and a great community to do things.
Yeah. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to get it to that point, and to the point where we are now, that we're at the end of the day, we're in Marietta. You know what I mean? And minority business owners, need to thrive and sometimes prove themselves out a little bit better than others, so that they're respected in the industries. And I felt that we had to do that at the beginning, but I feel that now we're at a great level of the playing field is really good, and people know that we're serious about being there. We're serious about doing the work. We respect every dollar that they give us. There's no government contracts funding us. We're doing this from sponsors and from the people that buy seats and tickets to see the shows, and we're respectfully treating that money correctly to continue to be able to let the arts work.
That's fantastic. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about some of the powerful things that you're doing for community, and specifically for Puerto Rico. So everyone who knows what's going on knows that Puerto Rico was devastated and hurt by Hurricane Maria a couple of years ago, and most recently by the earthquakes. And it seems like you've just constantly stepped up efforts to help out your homeland and where you're from, and part of our, the 51st state of the United States. And so I'd like you to kind of talk through, what you're doing in that arena, how it's affected you, and some of the ways that other people who will listen to us can get involved.
Yeah, definitely. So as you know, I'm Puerto Rican. So, I'm Afro-Latino, and every sense of the word, having Puerto Rican blood and being raised in New York, there's an effect to a human being, and that is inclusiveness of community, and we all stick together, and we all find a way. And I kind of grew up that way, right? Melting pot, just always knowing that you have to help your brother. So I'm blessed. My family, my mother, my father, they made sure that they instilled that in us. And a couple of years ago, the the Hurricane Maria, when she came through and Irma came through, she devastated the island, and she did a number on it, and it was just a natural disaster. But I had felt compelled that I needed to do something special. I just needed to do something different. I don't know if special is the right word, but at least different. Being one of the first Puerto Rican restaurants in Georgia over 20 years ago, always have succeeded in being able to be the first in a lot of things. I felt that it was also important to be one of the first to step up to my own culture. So we started a coalition amongst quite a few of us. It was a bunch of chefs, and we collected over about 4 million pounds of food, diapers, Pampers, water. I mean, when I tell you medicine, all types of things. And we started to help the island, and we started to take aid to the island during the hurricane when there was no water. Coca-Cola got involved with us. We had Delta Cargo and a Delta team get involved with us. We had some big players who stepped in, and we were able to send a lot of stuff to the island. And I was fortunate enough to lead the logistics of it. And I was on the ground out there and really seeing what disasters really do. We're blessed.
Yeah.
We turn on our water every day, and we know that water's going to be there. Now we make a phone call and somebody comes out and fixes it within minutes, right? And out there, things are different. Sometimes you have electricity, sometimes you don't. Sometimes things are good, sometimes they're not. And you try to adapt to it. It becomes part of everyday life. So now, fast forward to when these earthquakes started to hit, we just could not leave the people at this maze. As you know, and not being political, but in the last 2 years, the aid and the things that have been needed to really get the island back to where it needs to be hasn't happened.
Yeah,
and the corruption continues, and there's a lot of deficiencies. Not to try to make it seem all rosy. There's a lot of deficiencies, and I think that what people lose sight of is the actual human. And that's what we try to focus on. We try to focus on the human, not the politics of it. We try to make sure that the people have what they need, and if they not, we give them in abundance, because at the end of the day, they're out of their own place, they're out of their own normal living. So I've gotten together again this year with Delta, and we've shipped a bunch of stuff. We've had two trips already to the island. We've delivered tons of stuff, sleeping bags and campers, because people are sleeping in the streets. Not that they don't have homes, they're afraid to sleep in them because the earthquake could shake their homes and kill them. So it's really crazy what's happening, but we've been able to develop a team again, and even more efficient than the first time, because now it's almost become routine. And we continue to help the island and the people of the island, not the island itself, but the people of the island directly through churches and through community, and people that we've entrusted within the last 3 years of actually going through all of these things, and the alliances that we've made through the pastors and the churches in the island, to get the things and the needed things directly to the hands of the people.
Yeah, I remember you through the hurricanes. You had drives where people could come and drop off items at the theater itself. How can someone who's listening to us now get involved or help out in any way? Do you have any thoughts on that?
So I'm always a big believer that I don't believe in the money part. Don't give any money. Don't start a GoFundMe. Don't send me any money. Don't send money to anybody that says that. I say do something, make a difference. Get involved with a group like us. If not get involved with a group like us, go on vacation and go spend your money there. Help the economy grow back up. Help things happen, right? The impact of the amount of people that are doing the work, there's enough organizations. So if you really want to do hands-on work, join an organization. Don't start a new one. But if you don't want to do any of that and you want to donate some money, donate the money by going there. Some amazing food, as you know. There's, great places to dance. And if you're single, you'll have a great time. And if you're not single and you're married, you're going to have an amazing time. So waters are beautiful. The people are great. And tourism is real out there. So do that. And that's what my suggestion would be.
Wow. That is a really awesome way of sharing that. You know, you're right, because a lot of times it is just a direct thing about money. But you're right. Everything and everyone I've ever met from Puerto Rico is beautiful. And it's beautiful people, whether they're in New York or Georgia, wherever they are. They're just wonderful citizens and wonderful, great people. Um,
Yeah. I wish people would understand that we are part of the United States.
Yes, yes.
You want to throw the pot shot at the politics, but at the end of the day, it's absurd, man. We have the largest amount of Puerto Rican, the Puerto Rican population is the largest ethnic group in the military. It has brought millions and millions and millions and millions of amazing people to the forefront of building this nation, and still to this day, people don't don't recognize, that the island is part of what it is. We gave our blood as well, man, and that's why I stand strong as an Afro Latino. I'll never be looked at as a white boy, so I'm proud to be a black man, and my Latin blood runs through me to every point of that bone in my body.
I don't get perturbed about or pissed off about many things, but the fact that there were certain parts that were talking about Puerto Rico as like not part of the United States, where every single person knows that it is. That was like one of the few times I think I got visibly upset, like when I heard that. And you're right about so many wonderful contributions. Like we all know that the United States is a place where contributions can come and do come from everywhere. I was having a podcast earlier where I was talking about our family origin, and I think I may have shared that with you, that my family came from Jamaica, and
of course,
and I was born in Jamaica, and we've come here and we've done so many amazing things, and a lot of times, at least now, it's almost like the world doesn't understand that that's kind of what makes human beings great, is coming and deciding to help other people and coming for a different life, and so that is phenomenal. So, Raul, here's a question for you.
Okay.
So there's someone right now who is struggling with something. So they may be going through a time of depression or anxiety, and they're saying to themselves, I want to be creative, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to do these things, but my situation is having an effect on me. What's a bit of advice you would give that person who's dealing with that?
Wow. Yeah. So, great question. I would say that first off, know that God is always on your side. Yeah. So never stop asking for His mercy and enlightening you in the things that you want to do. But I would say talk to people, find a network, find those that are similar to your wants and your likes, and talk and ask, because there are people that will be willing to help, guide, mentor, and move forward. You're an amazing mentor. We have amazing mentors in our community. Find someone that can help you down that path. Come to the theater, come hang out. Volunteer, get involved. Get involved with the group. Get involved with the youth group. Get involved with the church group. Get involved with people, and tell people what it is that you feel God is asking you to do, and watch how He'll answer those prayers.
Wow, that's great. Thank you for that, and thank you for joining the conversation. I am asking you up front here that I would love to have you back here in the future if you're willing.
Absolutely. It's great, man. I've always respected you very, very dearly, man. Your family, beautiful family, and celebrating with you throughout these years. Your accomplishments has been wonderful. Even celebrating your 50th, my brother.
Oh, thank you.
I don't go to many parties. I don't go to many parties that yours I wouldn't miss for the world, and it was an amazing party.
Thank you.
I love that kind of family camaraderie. Your son is amazing. Your wife is amazing. I mean, you're just an endearing person, and always very dear to my heart. Anything I can do, brother, I'm here for you.
Thank you so much, brother. And I feel the same way about you, your family, your wonderful wife, Yvette. You guys are phenomenal. For those of you who are listening, I hope you hear some of the things that Raul has shared with us today. One of our goals here is to take bits of all of the conversations that we've had on the podcast. And Raul, we will be putting these together at the end of the year into the first ever Rising Tides audiobook, where people can hear snippets of some of the words you shared and some of the other podcasts and conversation participants, and really hear how they can really take their creativity to the next level. So I know that people are going to love what you said, and they're not only going to hear it now or hear it on iTunes, but they'll also be able to hear it in that audiobook. What are some ways that people... Go ahead.
I hope I was able to... I hope that we could just affect one person, then we've done our job, right? I think that's the most important thing. Just one person, one at a time.
One at a time.
And let the village be a true village, because that's how we build community.
That's right. So if someone wants to hear more or get more info about the theater or about yourself, what are some ways that they can connect with you?
Wow. Okay, so the theater, it's Marietta's new theater in the square. It's 11 Whitlock Avenue, Marietta, Georgia, right on the corner next to Marietta Pizza, 770-426-4800. It's www.theaterreinthesquare.net. That's theaterinthesquare.net. And then if you just want to check out my cooking page and see, what I've been doing for the last 33 years, just type in my name, www.raulthomas.com. And that'll lead you to a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, the theater is definitely rocking. Rec Squad Productions is still filming and doing their thing. So we invite everybody that has talent, that wants to share that talent, come share it at the theater.
That is awesome. Thank you, my brother. And everyone who's listening, please subscribe or give us feedback on all the platforms. You can get us on iTunes, Spotify, Google, etc. You'll see it on Facebook where you can play it directly, or on Podbean. We're everywhere because we want to be everywhere, so we want to help everyone one person at a time. Raul, again, thank you for being part of the Creativity Cocktail.
Thank you, my brother. Love you guys. Be good.
You too.